Well, obviously, I did take a closer look at it, and I think the UK does have a valid argument. In 1982, when war was declared by Argentina, they lost the war. Okay, you have to deal with that. Is Argentina started a conflict, and the British ended it, and the Argentinians had to surrender. If they were insistent on winning that battle, perhaps they could have won, but they did not. So facts are what the facts are. And also, what I also think about is the issue of disputing whether or not countries or Commonwealth have islands and faraway lands, whether or not that should be allowed. Well, it is. U.S. has quite a few islands in faraway lands. So the thing is UK won the battle, they won the war, and it just is what it is. I mean, the Argentinians can be very upset about it, but they lost.
Professor Teixeira, what is your response to that? The fact, and it is recognized that Argentinian military did lose the war, and there was even a referendum, whether you like it or not, or whether some people believe there was a legitimate one or not, and the great majority of the people on the territory chose to side with the UK.
Yes, of course. This is what Professor expressed. Oh, we won the war and that's it. Is exactly the colonial mentality that we need to fight against the 21st century. Okay, was based in 18th century when the British Empire was expanding and explore all the colonies all over the world. But all this talk Shin, is about colonial way of thinking. We are in the 21st century. This doesn't make any difference from the British Empire because is over.
China has made statements here, and the UK immediately turn around and say China must respect the Falklands sovereignty. It seems that the word must is in pretty much fashion, in big fashion these days. Professor Pauken, in all fairness, how do you look at this?
Well, I would be careful about the idea of must. I'm glad you pointed that out because must is sounds almost like a demand. In diplomatic, if I was to just sort of say, I probably use more voluntary type verbs. Should consider, think about, because this is territorial claims are a very sensitive topic among countries that are having relations with each other. Sometimes they are willing to fight over those territorial claims, and I don't want to see an eruption of violence erupt over Falklands now. I happen to have heard that there were some very protests in Argentina recently, and they look very shocking to me because they look like they wanted to go fight. I don't like to see that. This issue is not going to be resolved. A lot of times, the territorial issues are constant,
Yeah.
almost a permanent complaint. But facts are facts. In 1982, Argentina tried to take over the Falklands. They lost,
All right.
and
All right,
sometimes you
Professor
just have to live with
Teixeira.
it.
Professor Teixeira, I give you 10 seconds to respond.
I think this is clear a double standard of UK, right? If we analyze their position in different locations in the world, not just to talk about Hong Kong, you see the double standards.
All right.
Okay,